Hi, this is Jenny Brav of Radiant Wholeness Healing, and today we are tapping to clear blocks to love, and that can be blocks to self-love or self-compassion, blocks to attracting more love in your life or intimate partnership, can be blocks to really loving life. So whatever that means for you. And I invite you to close your eyes to feel into that a little bit more. And just noticing what it feels like in your body when you bring up blocks to love. Are there places where it feels like there's stuck energy that feel contracted, maybe jittery or even numb? Noticing if there are certain areas of your life where it feels like that's showing up more. Like maybe there's a lot of love with others, but you're having a hard time loving yourself fully. Or maybe you honor yourself, but feel isolated, not connected enough to others. And just noticing without judgment, if possible. And noticing if there are any emotions that come up around this block to having more love in your life. Might be sadness, frustration, confusion, powerlessness, fear, whatever it is, just noticing and allowing. And feeling into whether there are any beliefs that could be associated with the emotions, with the blocks. And they could be beliefs about love, but they could also be general beliefs about you and or the world, like there's not enough love to go around, I'm unlovable, I'm not enough, I'm alone, I can only rely on myself, others will always let me down. It's not safe to trust anybody else. It's not safe to trust myself. I have to be better if I'm going to get love. Somehow change myself. That belief can often fuel the inner critic and make self-love really difficult. And then asking yourself if there was an age associated with when you first developed these blocks to love, what age might it be? And just notice what pops up for you. And if nothing does, that's okay too. And then ask yourself, if I didn't have this block to love, how might I be feeling and living my life? Maybe you can imagine yourself a year from now having already healed and released these blocks. And really imagine in as much detail as you can, how that might feel in your body and your heart. With fully open and clear channels to giving and receiving love to yourself, to others, to life. How it feels in your body, how it feels as you go about your day, what you're attracting to you now that these blocks have been cleared. And when you're ready, you can either open your eyes or keep them closed. If you want to write down some of the things you got from this mini meditation, feel free to pause the video. Otherwise, we're going to start tapping. You can tap along with me. I'll be naming the points. If your eyes are closed, you can repeat after me out loud in your head. Even though I have these blocks to love. And if you want, you can say out loud any specific blocks you have, if it's self-love, an intimate partner, loving life fully, having community or friends. So just naming out loud the specific thing you're working on. Even though I have residual blocks to love. And I really wish I could release them. I'm open to loving and accepting myself anyway. Even though it's hard. Even though that's one of the things I'm struggling with. Good. Deep breath. Tapping all over your head. High blocks to love. Inside of the eyebrows, I see you. Outside of the eyes, I feel you. Under the eyes, deep breath. Under and above the lips, I know you're there. Under the collarbone, I know you're there for a reason. Middle of the sternum. And I'm feeling you in my body. Ribs, breathe. You can name out loud whatever you're feeling in your body, whatever part of your body is numb or jittery, side of the body, or contracted. Just name them out loud. And if you want, you can say hi. High block in my heart, knot in my stomach, jittery feeling in my throat, whatever it is you're feeling. Inside of the wrist, breathe. And if you can't feel your body, if it goes numb, you can name that too. Other side of the wrist. Switch wrists. This block to love. I've had a long time. All over your head, breathe. And it's bringing up a lot of emotions inside of the eyebrows. High frustration outside of the eyes. Sadness under the eyes. Breathe. High fear under and above the lips. Fear that I'll never have love. Under the collarbone. Fear that I will and I'll lose it. Middle of the sternum. And now add any other emotions that you're feeling around this. Could be loneliness, hopelessness, anything else that's coming up around this. Might also be hope, optimism, ribs, deep breath. Side of the body. And I acknowledge any belief that's associated with this block. Inside of the wrist. That I'm not enough. The wrist or others aren't enough. And that nobody ever truly sees me or understands me. Inside of the eyebrows. It's not safe to love fully. Outside of the eyes, breathe. Under the eyes. And add any belief that you have that hasn't been named. Under and above the lips. Under the collarbone. I've had this a long time. Middle of the sternum. Part of me doesn't believe I can release it. Ribs. And part of me is so ready. Side of the body. Ready for the upgrade. Wrist. I acknowledge my younger self. Other wrist. Hi, young me. All over the head. I'm so sorry for the messages you received about love. Inside of the eyebrows, either from how others were with you, outside of the eyes, or how they were with each other. Under the eyes, breathe. And under those circumstances, under and above the lips, it was so smart of you. Under the collarbone, to develop this belief. Middle of the sternum. And name out loud the belief that your younger self developed. ribs, breathe. Side of the body. That's the only way you made sense of things. Inside and outside of the wrist. Other wrist. And under those circumstances, tap all over the head. It was so smart of you. Inside of the eyebrows and brave. Outside of the eyes. To develop this strategy of trying to change yourself. Under the eyes, of being really hard on yourself. Under and above the lips, breathe. Of hiding under the collarbone, not fully trusting yourself. Middle of the sternum, not fully trusting others. Ribs, not fully trusting life. Deep breath. Side of the body. And name any other coping strategy your young self might have developed at the time. Wrist. Other wrist. Head. Thank you, young me. Inside of the eyebrows. That's what you had to do to survive. Outside of the eyes. And it helped me get to where I am. Under the eyes. And it no longer serves us. Under and above the lips. At this point, the strategies that were meant to help under the collarbone and did help us feel less lonely. Middle of sternum, feel less powerless. Ribs are actually backfiring. Side of the body and making us feel more lonely and more powerless. Wrist. So it's possible we can release these. Other wrist, when and if you're ready. Head. Not because anybody is pressuring you to. Inside of the eyebrows, but because you really want to. Outside of the eyes, because you're so tired of holding on to this. And now I invite you to bring your hands out in front of you and imagine that you're holding the beliefs, the coping strategies, and all the emotions that you named, and just nodding at them, knowing that they served a purpose, they helped you make sense of things, they helped you survive. And the emotions are residues of what you experienced back then. And also feeling how this no longer serves you in your current circumstances, that now it's just recreating the very thing that it was meant to help you with. And so when you're ready, releasing all of that to energy and light. And if you don't feel quite ready, feel free to keep doing the first rounds of tapping until you are. And then releasing any cords that might be still attached to the coping strategy, the wounding, the memory. And then closing your eyes. And bring up again that future parallel wise self version of you who's already free of those blocks. Just noticing what qualities this future version of you represents. Do they feel light, bright, trusting, free, expansive, vibrant, whatever it might be? And when you're ready, merging with this version of you, you might step into them, they might step into you. And just feeling what that feels like inside your body. What it feels like to step into your day, into your life, into engaging with yourself, your own self-talk, with a partner or with attracting a partner, with friends, your community, at work, with life. Noticing what that feels like. And then bringing this feeling, this image into your crown, dropping it into your crown, letting it permeate all the neural pathways that were entrained to believing whatever old belief you had and replacing it with whatever new belief you're sensing now. Bring that into your nervous system. Rewiring your nervous system so that this is your default reality. Feeling it permeate every nerve, cell, muscle, bone, spreading into the lymph tissues, your organs. And finally, bringing this feeling into your heart, filling all 4 chambers of your heart with the feeling, the image, anything you're receiving or received when you merged with this version of you. Then letting it radiate back into the world, sending it up and down your timeline so that every version of you that came before this and coming after gets the benefit of this healing, tapping all over your body, shaking it out, touch something grounding. May your heart and your life be so filled with love that you're just spilling over with it. And thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If this was helpful, press like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much.